There are doors not made of wood or stone, but made of flesh, memory, and mystery. Doors that don't open with physical keys, but with presence, awareness, and respect. Among them, there's one that for centuries has been hidden, silenced, and misunderstood. The gateway to the deepest creative power of the feminine isn't found in temples or on sacred mountains. It's in a woman's body, in her most subtle energetic landscape. It's a small yet vast point, like a tiny star where the sensory, spiritual, and ancestral meet, a center of light, fire, and transformation, a sanctuary pulsing with the memory of the goddess through generations. This point was named with shame and fear, or worse, erased from collective awareness. But today, in this time of spiritual awakening and the return of the feminine, its secret is coming back like a pearl shining beneath dark waters. This point isn't just about physical pleasure. It's a cosmic antenna, a spiral of energy that opens internal doors to intuition, healing, magnetism, and divine connection. Women who've learned to touch it with awareness, not just their hands, but their souls, have discovered that from here a woman can remember who she truly is. A giver of life, a world alchemist, a guide of mystery. This video isn't an anatomy lesson, it's a revelation. I'll lead you through the veil between the biological and the mystical, so you can understand how this tiny, overlooked power center is actually a key that activates dormant energy in the womb, heart, and soul. We'll explore its silenced history, its role in ancient sacred traditions, and its potential to ignite the sacred fire of the feminine. You'll see how conscious stimulation of this point can heal trauma and raise the vibration of the entire energetic body. Get ready. This isn't some crude secret. You're about to discover a spiritual technology built into the feminine body, a divine design history tried to erase, but is now waking up. Because when that inner star lights up, a woman doesn't just remember her power, she owns it. Since the dawn of time, the feminine body was honored as a living temple in the oldest cultures. Those that remembered the earth as mother and the cosmos as a sacred womb. Women were seen as channels between worlds, embodying the cycles of life, death, and renewal. At the heart of that temple was an invisible altar, a hidden pearl inside the body's flower that pulsed not only with pleasure, but held a spiritual secret. It wasn't just a source of physical joy. It was, and still is, a connection point to subtle realms, a spark of creative fire. In matriarchal traditions like those of the ancient Minoans, Egyptians, or Sumerian priestesses, this point was known, even if unnamed. They called it the jewel, the inner throne, the bud of Isis. Women who awakened this jewel could see beyond the veil, heal with a touch, and attract what they needed just by being present. This key wasn't activated by force, but by presence, not by cold technique, but by warm, sacred intention. It was part of rituals blending movement, breath, sound, and silence. It was honored like a living flame and understood as the seed of the universe held in human flesh. With the rise of patriarchal religions and moral systems, the temple was pillaged. The woman's body went from being a portal to being a sin. That key, that small door of sublime energy, was buried under shame, repression, and oblivion. The knowledge was pushed aside, exiled, buried under centuries of dogma. But the symbol didn't die. It slept like a coiled snake waiting for its moment to rise. And that moment is now. Today, with the rebirth of feminine consciousness, the key shines again in the dreams, visions, and inner awakenings of thousands of women. You don't need permission to touch this mystery. You only need to remember this point is a living mandala, more than flesh, it's quantum memory, designed not just to grant pleasure, but to serve as an antenna for divine communication. Every woman who honors, recognizes, and awakens it with respect and devotion, rescues a stolen part of her soul and brings her original light back into the world. True spiritual awakening doesn't start in the mind. It starts in what's been forgotten. Imagine that inside the sacred garden of the feminine body, there's a hidden petal, too small to see with the naked eye and overlooked by those whose spiritual awareness isn't yet awake. This petal, tucked away in an intimate corner and guarded by layers of culture and biology, is actually a living antenna that picks up frequencies the logical mind can't understand. When this point is touched with awareness, not just physically, but truly recognized, a subtle current flows, like a vibration not in the muscles or nerves, but in the energy field itself. It's a pulse that connects the body to its cosmic origin. This isn't exaggeration. Many women who've explored this space with spiritual reverence report visions, expanded consciousness, ancestral memories, and above all, a deep sense of coming home. This point is like the shell holding the pearl of the feminine soul, a structure small in size but mighty in power. Its sensitivity isn't some evolutionary accident. It's part of a divine design. If it were just about pleasure, it wouldn't need more than 8,000 nerve fibers, more than any other part of the human body. Doesn't that feel like a coded message? But its real power goes beyond sensation. Its true potential shows up when that pleasurable energy isn't wasted but rises. When that spark lights up, the energy that usually stays on the edges starts moving toward the center, then flows upward through the energetic spine. This upward flow is something ancient mystical traditions knew well. In many cultures, it's symbolized by the Kundalini fire, a serpent curled at the base that, when awakened, climbs up to the crown's lotus. What's rarely mentioned is that this serpent needs a spark to wake up, and for women, that spark comes from this often forgotten point. Awakening this spot with devotion, breath, and intention doesn't just heighten physical sensation, it revives soul memories, restores the body's sovereignty, and reconnects pleasure with the sacred. This point isn't some anatomical luxury, it's the power ring of the feminine body, not just decoration but a sacred seal. When this circuit is switched on, the body becomes an altar and every sensation an offering. In that moment, a woman stops searching for God outside herself. She recognizes she is part of the mystery. When that spark, that tiny flash of conscious energy, ignites at the sacred threshold of the feminine body, it doesn't stay put. It begins a silent climb toward the higher temples of being. And this isn't just poetic language. It's a real energetic process, felt and experienced by those who've opened that path with focus and devotion. The feminine body, by design, is an alchemical instrument, its structure arranged in a spiral of transformation. The hidden point we talked about is the doorway, not the final stop. When the energy awakens there and isn't lost on the surface but is instead elevated, a process of vibrational refinement kicks in. As the energy rises, it moves through different inner centers, known across traditions as wheels or lotuses. Each center represents a level of consciousness, a soul dimension. But for the energy to move up, physical touch alone isn't enough. Pure intention, full presence, and a will to rise above the everyday into the sacred are needed. The ancients said the body is a tree, and this hidden point is its glowing root, from which heavenly fire grows. But for that fire not to burn out at the base, it must be fed with breath, silence, ritual, and above all, reverence. Reverence is the channel that lets the ordinary turn into the transcendent. Many women have felt this rise without knowing why. Moments of unexplained joy, tears with no clear reason, sudden expansions during intimacy. These aren't just emotions. They're the soul touching its memory. At times, this energy reaches the chest, activating the center of compassionate love. where pleasure meets tenderness and the physical blends with the spiritual. Then, if the body's open and the mind steps aside, the energy moves on to the throat, where a woman starts speaking from a new place. Her truth no longer just mental, but vibrational. And if the journey peaks, if the energy reaches the crown lotus, an experience happens many call dissolution. No name, no form, no story, just infinite presence. In that moment, a woman doesn't remember just who she is. She remembers everything. This path is delicate. It can't be forced or rushed. It must be allowed and honored because it's not a mechanical circuit, but a dance between body and spirit. Every woman has her own rhythm, her own inner language, her own way to awaken that current. There are no one-size-fits-all formulas. The real teacher is listening. And more than that, this process isn't about ego or quick satisfaction. It's about soul integration. It's a call home, a quiet alchemy, and it all starts with that forgotten point, that pearl holding the map back to wholeness. Whoever dares to awaken this energy with awareness not only changes her body, but transforms her destiny. A woman connected to her source is a living portal, a healing force, a revolution in herself. Awakening sacred feminine energy isn't a single moment, it's a journey. A flower doesn't bloom by shouting, and deep energy doesn't respond to rushing. It's an art of patience, listening, and ritual. Below, I'm sharing some simple but powerful practices to help this sacred point, the vibrant pearl within, become an inner sun that lights up every part of your life. First, touch with presence, not rush. If this point of power is a temple, you don't enter with dirty shoes or a scattered mind. Whether you're alone or with someone else, the key is full attention. Before touching, take a breath. Before exploring, show respect. Remember, this isn't just a button to turn on pleasure. It's a portal to open your consciousness. If your body doesn't feel safe, the energy won't rise. Create an internal space where your soul can relax. Second, alchemical breathing. While touching or focusing on that area, breathe consciously. Imagine inhaling light and exhaling what no longer serves you. Picture this energy waking up and rising like a golden thread up your spine, lighting up each center, igniting each chakra. If any part of your body tightens, don't push it. Just notice, breathe, and let go. Breath is the key that moves subtle energy. Third, the internal mirror ritual. A powerful practice is sitting quietly and focusing your attention on that sacred center without touching it. Just bring your awareness there. Ask yourself, what does this point want to tell me today? What memories does it hold? What blocks might be hiding? Sometimes simply shining light on a spot clouded by shame or forgetfulness starts the healing. What's seen with love begins to change. Fourth, care for what enters your temple. The energy in this center is activated not just by touch, but by your emotions, thoughts, and words. If you're surrounded by heavy energy, people who don't honor your true self, or content that dims your light, this center starts to close. On the flip side, if you fill your days with beauty, art, nature, music, or dance, this point opens like a flower soaking up the sun. Fifth, honor your rhythm. Not all women experience this the same way. Some feel fire, others water, others wind. There's no one way to awaken this energy, so don't compare or chase formulas. Seek what's authentic for you. The sacred isn't copied. It reveals itself in intimacy because what lives there, in that hidden petal, that ancient spark, is the memory of the feminine soul waiting to be awakened. And you are the guardian of that temple. At some point on the spiritual path, we stop searching outside because something inside has lit up. It's not a loud light or fierce fire, but a warm, steady glow coming from the deepest part of the body, as if the earth itself were breathing inside you. That light, That presence, that energy comes from a place long forgotten, silenced, even dismissed for centuries. The sacred feminine was hidden away. The world feared its power because it can't be controlled or dominated. It doesn't follow conquest or power plays. Its language is symbol. Its strength is creation. Its rhythm follows the cycles of the moon. And at the heart of that ancient wisdom is a secret point. A vibrant core where the feminine soul connects with the universe. This point isn't just an organ or an evolutionary quirk. It's a subtle antenna, a switch of consciousness, a biological altar. From it, vital energy awakens, rises, and transforms how you experience being. Whoever activates this spot with reverence doesn't just access pleasure, they tap into revelation, inner vision, and the knowing that the body is a temple and the soul its priestess. It's not just about touching, it's about remembering, seeing with fresh eyes a part of yourself that's always been there, waiting to be known. Not as a taboo, but as a treasure. This rediscovery isn't trivial, it's revolutionary. A woman who knows, honors, and awakens her creative center is someone who can't be controlled. And this message isn't only for women. Men who love and support this process, without fear, without taking over, with listening and humility, also awaken their own memory of the divine. Because when feminine and masculine energies meet consciously, real alchemy happens, the union of heaven and earth inside a person. So today, at the end of this symbolic journey through the hidden heart of the feminine body, I invite you to do something simple but deeply transformative. Listen to yourself. Place your hand on your belly, breathe, and silently ask, what does my body want to remind me? What part of me have I forgotten? Where does my magic hide? And if this message resonates, if it stirs something inside you that wants more, I invite you to keep exploring this ancient wisdom. There's so much more to discover, and we're just lighting the first flame. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like if this video sparked something in you, and share it with others who are ready to remember. Your path is sacred, your body is a map, and your essence is a miracle.